Okay, so I don't do a lot of question and answer, but occasionally when I know something is very important, that's a very, I don't know, just important to people and dealing with symptoms, they have to understand certain stuff that I have to point out and focus on. And I'll add that into my pin post, especially about mucus, because people are under the impression that mucus is bad. Here's the thing, mucus has all the different fats, the DNA, the fats, the fatty acid, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. Mucus is your DNA. Mucus has the viruses, different viruses relative to the programming, new programming or old programming. And so when you are dealing with a virus that's coming in and trying to change programming, your body's going to mucus up. It's going to, the antibodies, both the agonist antibodies and the antagonist antibodies are housed in the mucus. And so when you're releasing mucus, you're releasing old programming. What happens is that people don't want to feel mucus. They're trying to stop it. So they take herbs and extracts and very aggressive antibiotics to kill the mucus. Okay? Now, salt can neutralize mucus. So now when you have mucus in your throat because you have the COVID and you have to go get a test, you rinse your mouth out with salt and gargle with salt, it neutralizes the COVID antibodies, the COVID viral antibodies that are in the mucus. And salt also, it doesn't like destroy it, it just neutralizes it, and then it also energizes the body to release it. Okay? And so why people die in our societies because they're taking herbs and extracts and elderberry syrup and they're trying to kill the mucus. They're taking their Theraflus, their NyQuils, all of the different shakes, all the different aggressive herbs like garlic and turmeric and honey and apple cider vinegar and you name it in the spice cabinet, they're taking it in reaction to as a remedy to stop the mucus. And no, you want to let mucus flow out. When I had the COVID-19 respiratory side, I exercised my diaphragm. That meant that all the mucus that was in my throat, I was coughing it out. When I get exposed to new viral variants, I cough out the mucus if I need to. When I eat food and it's coating, that's the excess, the old or the stuff that it doesn't need. Okay, so when I'm eating food, it's coating and my body's releasing simultaneously the old coating and putting in the new coating. And so things happen like that at an instantaneous moment. When you wake up in the morning and you're coughing, that's the body going through reparations overnight, releasing the mucus. When you do waterfalls on the J juice, initially in the beginning, you're releasing mucus in the toilet. That's why people had all this mucus come out, because they were holding so much mucus in their colon that wasn't being released. And all that is conflicting viral programming that's sending off cattywampus messages through your immune system to the rest of the body, and the body is now overproducing or accumulating fat or not accumulating or not producing enough insulin to regulate your sugars. And so the people are all lopsided. They're unbalanced, hormonal imbalances. And so mucus is very important, though when a person is that immunocompromised and they get exposed to a huge viral upload, why do you think they end up in the hospital? Because so much mucus was producing and they didn't know how to expel it. They didn't have the strength, they didn't have the salt. See, those who are on low sodium diets should be very afraid of the virus because they don't have enough energy in their body to expel the mucus, to expel anything that's extra. And so when you're obese, when you're of a big tummy full of shiz, when you are harboring like bronchitis and infection in your lungs, people get lung cancer too because they're not expelling. You're supposed to have mucus, but you're also supposed to know how to expel it without using something to destroy it and kill it like antibiotics. But the medical holistic system, and I'm going to say also the holistic system, has bypassed your first and second lines of defense purposely. Now, there'll be some homeopathics or licensed. They'll say, oh, I don't do that. You're licensed to kill. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. If you have a license to manage patients, you're trying to stop the pain and trying to stop the body's ability to defend itself on its own. I don't care who you are if you're licensed, and that's your whole prerogative. Okay? And so the medical holistic system has bypassed the first and second lines of defense. So that way, when you do feel something, you're going to get an electrolytes pumped in you injection-wise through an IV. They're going in and doing a ventilator. They're stuffing things down your throat, forcing oxygen and weakening your lungs and weakening the linings of your throat, weakening everything. When you can't expel on your own, then you're taking Imodium to stop the body trying to expel so much. Or here we go. When you can't expel on your own, then you're taking like laxatives. When you're expelling so much and you're not used to it, then you're taking Imodium to stop it. There's that side of it too. People are afraid to poop. They're afraid to diarrhea. They're like, oh my God, I'm pooping. Well, no shit. Well, yeah, shit. Okay? Now, the thing with pooping and diarrhea is the fact you're losing electrolytes. But if you have a high sodium diet and maybe, you're taking some electrolytes, like maybe you're doing some J juice, add some sugar in it. Not doing so much, but if you're diarrheaing and you didn't do the JJ because of a virus, like I had a virus the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I had diarrhea, not too much, but it was like it came out pretty quick. I didn't really need to go do J juice, but some people in the beginning of the J juice mentality and they got exposed to a virus, they need to replace electrolytes. That's the only issue with diarrhea on a body that's on low sodium. Immunocompromised is they're losing electrolytes, so they have to go and replace that. Oh, but they don't understand that. And so if they don't understand that, then they're afraid to poop. And so what they do, they go take Imodium, take other things to stop the poop. Okay, so you're keeping the infection in your body. You're keeping the conflicting viral program in the body. The body wants to expel, but you're now trying to stop it. So the medical industry is a twofold. They will mess with your hormones, with your binary codes of turning things on and turning things off, and they will stop you from expelling because you're afraid to feel something. And so that's why people die. And so the whole point of the JJ mentality, and this is for the young lady that's asking that question. Now, I'm trying to write a book, so I'm not trying to answer all these questions. The only reason why I'm doing this video is because there really isn't a video focusing on mucus in the most current format of today. And I'm going to post it into the pinned post, and this is for everybody in the world, okay? But mucus is very important to understand. Mucus and doing the J juice is to, yes, neutralize some of the mucus programming that is causing conflicting programming, but not to stay on the JJ mentality forever. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with the new viral programming coming in like the COVID, and you're going to have to learn how to exercise your diaphragm. Your diaphragm you need to know that you can expel on your own, that you don't need a ventilator. You don't need to dry it up with elderberry syrup or NyQuil or Theraflu or mucus drying agents like Mucinex, okay? That you feel to heal and to regenerate. And yeah, I'm telling you, coughing sucks. But, in the beginning, if you're just starting the JJ mentality and you catch the COVID, you could do the J juice and it will help alleviate and slow down the fast replication process that causes you to cough. Okay? And so the JJ mentality will not only help you expel, but it also calm down some of the energy in these viruses. Okay? Salt, it does that. But the industry will never tell you this. And so, but if you're afraid of the COVID-19 and all that stuff, I don't want to tell you not to go to the hospital, but you know what happens when you go to the hospital. I've read comments where people are being starved because they have all this machinery and they're not getting the electrolytes, they're not getting the fluids. They're stuck on these ventilators with these tubes going down their nose, in their throat, all the way into their lungs, pumping 100 cc's of oxygen in their lungs. And already seen on the TV that, that some unvaccinated person, is on a ventilator, and the doctor is saying, well, if I had to put them on, or before they were on the ventilator, she goes, well, if I had to put them on the ventilator, they're not going to survive the ventilator. So they already know you're not going to, if you're that far gone already, you're not going to survive even the ventilator. Some do, but some don't. And if you really want to take that gamble, people will. So I don't know, but this is the thing. Mucus is not a bad thing. Blow your nose. You know that when I take a poop, and let's say I have some constipation because of the high heat from the virus, I blow my nose and the poop comes out. Not literally, but I mean like it starts working its way out. You breathe in to push the poop out. You blow your nose to push the poop out. You have to be able to have communication between your nose and your ass. And if you're blowing your nose and you don't feel your butt pucker in any way, shape, or form, or you don't fart, okay, you have blockages. The whole point of the JJ mentality is to clear out the alimentary canal so you don't have blockages and have redirection in messages. You want a straight line of communication between your brain, your nose, and your gut. And many people have blockages in between the two. And so the JJ attempts to clear the blockages, clear the sludge, fuse back the communication between all your systems, and you got to feel the pain. Not everybody's ready for it. But I've been setting you guys up for the last 4 years. You have to feel pain. You must. JJ can help, alleviate some of it a little bit, but you still have to deal with it. But in the beginning, yeah, you're going to have to figure out the best way to manage it and manage your life and daily activities. But mucus is extremely important to understand, and it's not something to fear. It's basically agonist antibodies and antagonist antibodies that are building you up and also taking away excess. And they also can build up very quickly if you're not expelling at the same rate that you're building up. And so when people are not expelling because they haven't learned how to exercise their first and second lines of defense, and that's in the pinned post, then they'll have so much buildup and not enough expelling, not enough releasing. They'll have so much retention but not enough releasing that then they blow up, and then they drown in their own stuff, or they blow up literally, like they get very big. Okay, so the JJ mentality is more than just eating and releasing. It's retaining energy, releasing energy in a balanced way. And that means that you have to exercise your diaphragm. And mucus is not the enemy. If mucus is coming out of your ears and coming out, it's because the body's finally releasing that it wasn't able to release before. Because the virus will bring up that energy. Not only will the JJ mentality, the salt, will activate the immune system, but also viruses do. That's why this is so dangerous for people on low sodium diets with a very highly volatile virus. Viruses will activate the immune system, and the body is devoid of defenses because it doesn't have hardly any salt, hardly any nutrition. They're not going to survive the shockwave of the viral uploads. That's the issue with low sodium diets on people with major predispositions. Either they stay their ass home, but then people are like, oh, I can't stay home. I'm not going to change my life. My life is too important. I got to have all my friends and all my family and everything. And my life, I'll sacrifice sacrifice myself for my friends and family. And so they go around their friends and family who have major viral, volatile mucus RPGs, and they're on low sodium diets and eating the food supply that's low sodium. You think they're going to survive a major viral upload? Oh, hell no. Those viruses are going to send shockwaves that they won't be able to wake up from a heart attack or a stroke. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So you have to understand the power of mucus, okay? You have to understand the power of the JJ mentality, the power of food. And so, yeah. And so you need the salt to be able to expel the excess. You need also the food supply to handle the shock waves, the covalent bonding. You need the ionic bonding, you need the covalent bonding. And do not be afraid of mucus. Yeah, it's going to suck. Let me tell you, it sucked when I was dripping all this mucus because I just was exposed to the COVID a couple weeks ago, and I just could not stop blowing my nose and spitting in the sink. And it was continuous. But that's part of the body releasing. And you must be comfortable with that. If you're not, then you're not going to survive this environment. And you won't understand indicators of the body going through its maintenance processes. And you'll wake up being congested. You have to deal with it. Blow your nose. Blow your nose. All right, bye.